Hello and welcome to the special broadcast with me, Geeta Mohan. In the next half hour, we'll try and understand what a former prince and the brother of King Charles III's arrest and release by UK police mean. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was arrested by the police on grounds of suspicion of misconduct in public office, and after a day-long questioning, he was released. It was the day the royal descent and Queen Elizabeth's second son, Andrew, turned 66 years old, though he has all along denied any wrongdoing. But his arrest on the 19th of February was the first high-profile arrest with relation to Epstein files.
Headlines across newspapers, across countries, shouted about Andrew's arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office over allegations he sent confidential government documents to Jeffrey Epstein. And the image of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor slumped in the back seat of his Range Rover, shot by Reuters photographer, was the tell-all picture of the dramatic day. It hardly was an image befitting of a royal birthday. On his 66th birthday morning, police arrived at his Wood Farm residence in Norfolk. BBC, in a breaking news, reported that police had arrested King Charles's younger brother, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, on suspicion of misconduct in public office over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Within minutes, it became the top story across the globe. British police said in a statement that a man in his 60s had been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, adding that they would not be naming the man as per national guidance. The man in question, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, was being questioned and no one knew where in which police station. Police was also carrying out search operations in his residential properties in Sandringham Estate in eastern England as well as in Wood Farm in Norfolk. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said that anyone with relevant information about the Epstein case, including the former prince, should testify. King Charles III said in a statement that it was with deepest concern he had learned about the arrest of his younger brother, former Prince Andrew, adding that the law must take its course. He said, and I quote, "What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course," unquote. It was an unprecedented situation where a king's brother was arrested and questioned by the police.
Yes, I think this is entirely unprecedented in modern times. The only member of the royal family who has had contact with the police as such would be Princess Anne, who has an offence under the Dangerous Dogs Act. But this is of a very, very different gravity. Of course, this is much, much more serious than that. And in that sense, this is without modern precedent.
King Charles III has said the law must take its course. But there's just no hiding how really big of a problem this is for the House of Windsor. You know, Andrew was, until October of last year, considered Prince Andrew. Then the king formally stripped him of his titles at the time of the release of the memoir by Virginia Giuffre, who was one of the victims of Epstein. And just the pressure became too much. The royal family had to act. And now they're trying to put the biggest possible line between Andrew and themselves in hopes that the House of Windsor can, retain its standing within society. It's really, really a tense time for the royal family.
King Charles III went about with his engagement in the day like another day in office, attending London Fashion Week. Late evening, the cars of Andrew arrived outside Elsham police station. He left slumped in the back seat of his Range Rover. Bureau Report, India Today.
Virginia Giuffre was just 17 in 2001. She claimed that she was trafficked to Britain to have sex with the former prince Prince Andrew in 2001. Till her death by suicide in April 2025, she fought myriad legal battles along with other survivors of Epstein abuse. The arrest of Andrew Mountbatten gave hope to Virginia's family and the most world over who followed this story avidly.
Sky Roberts felt vindicated on 19th February. He's the younger brother of Virginia Giuffre. Virginia claimed she was trafficked to Britain to have sex with the former Prince Andrew in 2001 at the age of 17.
I mean, you can dig through file after file, testimony, deposition after deposition of Virginia's, and you can see how much she was telling the truth. And at this point, I think we have a feeling of vindication. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if it'd be quite as much as what she would say, but maybe what she would do. She'd be popping open a little cork of champagne right here and pouring it out for her survivor sisters and taking a sip and cheersing up and saying, hey, girls, we got a long way to go here, but let's take this one today.
The allegations for which Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was being investigated are separate from those made by Virginia. She died by suicide at the age of 41 in April 2025. Nearly 10 months after her death, former Prince Andrew was being investigated as he was alleged to have passed documents to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein while working as a trade envoy.
I think it's really fair to say that without Virginia's courage, without the civil cases that she brought, and without, frankly, her book, which reminded the world what it feels like to be a girl ensnared in Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking conspiracy, without all of that happening, I don't know that we would be seeing this particular, as you say, specific charge that's not related to sex, but we wouldn't be seeing it. He wouldn't have been called on the carpet. He wouldn't have lost his titles. He wouldn't have been embarrassed in the way that he's been embarrassed so far.
Journalist Amy Wallace co-authored Virginia Giuffre's memoir, Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice. She's now optimistic that the wheel of justice has started to move with the UK leading the way.
They haven't even interviewed people on this side of the pond. They haven't even gone after the people who have been named. And so, yes, there's a lot unfolding here. But I think for anyone who cared about Virginia or any victim of sexual abuse of any kind, whether it was Epstein, Maxwell, or someone else, watching the testimony of these women be disregarded, ignored, and not acted upon by government officials who are supposed to uphold the law is an embarrassment. The UK has led the way. France is getting behind it. Norway is doing it. United States, not so far.
In response to Mountbatten-Windsor's, US President Donald Trump, who is also named in the Epstein files, said it was a shame.
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents.
UN spokesperson declined to comment on the detention of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor.
Does the Secretary wish for more international scrutiny on the Epstein files?
I have no comment on the particular the circumstances and the reasons of the detention of Mr. Windsor Mountbatten today. That's not for us to get involved in. But as we've said before, there should be increased investigations into the abuse of women and girls that we have seen by Mr. Epstein that spans many different countries and jurisdictions.
Londoners believe that this arrest could affect the future of the Crown. Earlier this month, British police force confirmed that they were looking into allegations against Andrew. But no one saw this coming. The arrest of the senior royal, 8th in line to the throne, it is unprecedented in modern times. Mountbatten-Windsor, the second son of the late Queen Elizabeth, has always denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein and has previously said he regrets their friendship. Bureau Report, India Today.
Virginia's accusations and later revelations made in the released documents of Epstein files got the ball rolling for Andrew. From being Duke of York, he turned commoner. And his brother, King Charles, discharged him from royal duties and stripped him of all royal titles.
Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, once a beloved prince, now a commoner, has fallen from the grace of royal life to end up in police custody. Born into privilege, his story spans heroism, diplomacy, scandal, and ultimate disgrace. He was named Andrew Albert Christian Edward Mountbatten-Windsor, the second son of Queen Elizabeth II, and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was born on 19th February 1960. And for 22 years, until Prince William's birth, he stood second in line to the throne, embodying royal glamour. A star student at Gordonston School, Andrew joined the Royal Navy in 1979, training as a helicopter pilot. He saw combat in the 1982 Falklands War aboard HMS Invincible, flying anti-submarine missions and rescue operations, earning him the nickname Randy Andy for his charisma and rumored romances. By 2001, after rising to commander, he left active service with honorary captaincy and colonelcies in British and Commonwealth forces. Andrew married Sarah Ferguson in 1986, and the two welcomed two daughters, Beatrice and Eugene. Their high-profile marriage ended in a divorce in 1996. Post-Navy, Andrew pivoted to diplomacy as the UK's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment from 2001 to 2011. Though the position had no decided remuneration, his expenses were heavy on the British purse. Critics questioned his lavish style and access, foreshadowing controversies that would end his tenure abruptly in July 2011. The pivot point came via Jeffrey Epstein, the American financier convicted in 2008 for soliciting underage prostitution. Andrew's ties dated to the 1990s. Post-prison, he visited Epstein's New York home multiple times and was photographed strolling in Central Park in December 2010. Virginia Giuffre accused Andrew of sexual abuse at 17. Her claims were denied in a disastrous 2019 BBC interview.
You don't recall meeting Virginia Roberts, dining with her, dancing with her at Tramp, or going on to have sex with her in a bedroom in a house in Belgravia?
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor regretted his ill-judged Epstein's web ensnared Andrew, turning royal favour into public outrage. In 2022, US civil suit settled out of court for millions, tarnished the York brand forever. King Charles III, Andrew's brother, ascended the throne in 2022 after the Queen passed away. 3 more years later, the Epstein files dragged Andrew back in the scandal headlines. The files released by the US government accused him of passing on confidential government documents to Jeffrey Epstein. Amid mounting pressure, in October 2025, Queen Elizabeth's successor stripped her second son, Andrew, of all titles, including Prince, Duke of York, and evicted him from Royal Lodge, Windsor. In one stroke, King Charles turned his 65-year-old brother a commoner. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, though retains theoretical throne eligibility, but was stripped of all patronages, military roles, and HRH status. Buckingham Palace cited Epstein links and allegations. Bureau Report, India Today.
The arrest of former British royal Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has sparked renewed calls for accountability for Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and proper investigations into the late sex offenders' networks in the United States of America and across the world. There are many who have voluntarily stepped down and others who are appearing in hearing and depositions to clear their names and association with now dead Jeffrey Epstein.
American billionaire Leslie Wexner faced a tense moment during his deposition before the House Oversight Committee regarding his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. 88-year-old Wexner was Epstein's primary client for around 20 years. He has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing. The owner of L Brands and Victoria's Secret was caught on a hot mic when his attorney, Michael Levy, was delivering blunt advice. He was questioned for 6 hours behind closed doors by congressional investigators. Connection to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is proving to be quite costly. From royal palaces to boardrooms and prime ministers' offices, the Epstein files are detonating at the very heart of global power. Here, Chairman Thomas Pritzker has stepped down following scrutiny over past contacts. In the UAE, DP World CEO Sultan Ahmed bin Salayem has resigned. Goldman Sachs Chief Legal Officer Kathy Romer has announced her resignation. Paul Vice Chairman Brad Karp has also stepped down after revelations surfaced. In the UK, Ambassador to the US Peter Mandelson was fired over his links. UK Prime Minister's Chief of Staff Morgan McSweeney resigned, taking responsibility for the appointment controversy. Former US Treasury Secretary Larry Summers has resigned from key roles after renewed scrutiny. In Sweden, UNHCR Sweden Chair Jonna Rubinstein stepped down after disclosures emerged. And in Norway, former Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland has been charged with aggravated corruption tied to the investigation. On 12th February, Norwegian police searched the homes of former Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland as part of the ongoing investigation into ties between prominent Norwegians and late US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. With every new revelation, the Epstein files are ripping through the corridors of global power, toppling titans, tarnishing legacies, and leaving the elite scrambling for cover. Bureau Report, India Today.
This story is far from over. In fact, it would be a long time before it ends, and we'll keep track of every development and bring you all the details from that report. But for now, that's all we have packed in this special broadcast. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and take care.